Hello and welcome to Rip Daddy's Comedy Cauldron. I'm your host, Dave Makes Noises. This is 2-drink minimum and water bottles are $10. How's that for immersion? Now find your way to a table and get comfortable because today we're asking D&D players, what is the best one-liner in your campaign? Part 2. Running joke that my PC didn't understand. Turtles were their own thing, but thought they were fat lizard folk. An enemy turtle was kicking our asses and asked if we knew why he was here. It was because we stole the MacGuffin from him. And I said, I take it it's not for the salad bar. DM gave me inspiration and made me roll damage from Vicious Mockery, even though I couldn't cast spells or had the spell in the first place. Today's video is brought to you by our dear friends over at Campfire Blaze. Over 80,000 storytellers use Campfire Blaze to write better stories faster. Campfire Blaze is a browser-based writing application with a full suite of organizational tools to help you write stories and build worlds. Its manuscript module safely stores your project in the cloud and allows you to quickly reference details from your main quest line with auto-tagging, so DMs never have to slow down the game's flow. Create dynamic characters with Blaze's character module and explore how they interact with your players in the relationship web. The timelines are extremely flexible, allowing you to plan campaigns in ways that work for you. Keep track of your universe with maps, locations, species, magic systems, cultures, and more. Your stories are private, but it's easy to share specific parts of them to collaborate with your players without spoilers. Blaze comes with 13 themes from crime to western, fantasy, sci-fi, romance, and even horror. Get in the zone with a custom theme that matches your story's tone. Campfire Blaze receives new features every month and is free to use for smaller projects, and if you need more space, you only need to pay for the features you need, as little as 50 cents a module. If you aren't satisfied, you can get your money back with their 30-day return policy. Emotionally maim your players more efficiently with Campfire Blaze. Click the link in the description below to learn more. So, my older friend was playing a Dragonborn so we could have a tank. He was the DM and I was a tiefling rogue. Backstory is that my character was a slave to a rich noble dragonborn family, same one he was the son of. His family lost all their riches after Leviana escaped as a young girl. He found out Leviana, my character, knew the whole time. He was trying to say sorry and was trying to get me to apologize to him for being rude to him. Instead, my character said, "Have you ever wondered why your family lost all their jewels?" he said while pulling out his mom's necklace, a priceless heirloom of the women of his family. "I'm moderately stupid," said just before rolling to see if he does something stupid. "Can the moon make a dex save?" Our party's resident ranger trying to stop the moon from controlling my lycanthropic tabaxi druid rogue. Needless to say, he rolled a nat 20 and shot a goddess. That night was wild. A little backstory. We're playing 5th edition, and my level 15 party, consisting of a barbarian cleric, a cleric paladin warlock, a sorcerer warlock, a bard rogue, fighter, and a wizard, are dungeon crawling through a castle we acquired through the deck of many things. So as we're going about, the barbarian, aka me, is walking behind the jackass rogue who goes running up the stairs and triggers a trap, as a giant boulder comes flying down the stairs and smashes my legs to bits. So my DM said, "Alright man, your leg's a raspberry jam. What do you want to do?" Before I can even speak, an NPC slits my throat, casts Revivify and Lesser Restoration, and for some reason that restores my legs. Flash forward 2 sessions, and we are being attacked by flying acid in our spaceship. The captain, a warforged who has an anti-material sniper, is unstably pissed. So we land in the forest, and the warforged has his sniper with him, and he spots a wizard and shoots him directly in the heart. I rush over to him and tell the NPC from earlier to help him, but my DM said, "Dude, his heart is just gone. There's no way he's coming back." My response, "If it can fix my broken legs, it can fix his broken heart." This may not be a one-liner, but it was a badass line. I had been playing in a homebrew 5th edition campaign based on the anime One Piece, and after a few months out of game, we had finally arrived at the big bad evil guy's island. When our ship got closer to the island, we saw a gigantic wooden mech called the Timberlord. Seeing this, we discussed what to do, and decided to use the weight of our captain's giant transformation to damage its head. After this, we were told by an NPC who is basically the big bad evil guy's daughter about his 2 lieutenants. When we made landfall, we immediately met the first of the lieutenants, who was actually pretty chill and was happy to help us by warning the island's residents. He also warned us to not start anything with the other lieutenant, Chuck, because he was just being stringed along by the big bad evil guy, Arbor. So after that, we freed some slaves in search of an NPC's family. We didn't find them. After this, we executed our plan and attacked the Timberlord and got fucked in one round. Our party was 4 PCs and 4 NPCs, and half of us went down. When my turn finally came up again, I rolled my death save and nat 20. My DM, knowing we're fucked, says Lupus gets up from the Timberlord's attack. He says I can attack this round, so I roll 4 attacks, Living Weapon Monk with Manifest Blow doing fire damage. And they all hit! So he shouts, "If I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down protecting you all!" and unleashes his attack, finishing with Jigen Haoryu. Shout out to my Build Fighters fans. Raging Wolf. I proceeded to do 118 damage, obliterating the Timberlord. Note, the Jigen Haoryu is a reference to something that I said as a joke. Okay, this will need some explaining. Playing Rifts, my character Fluffy was an Altacan dragon hatchling. They don't get a breath weapon, and are generally rubbish compared to normal fantasy dragons, but they can recall and mimic any sound or song they've ever heard. They can also throw their voices, and my little dragon made up for being bad at dragoning by being very good at stabbing baddies in the face with a fire knife. Fluffy got hurt badly once. Rolled 3 critical failures in a row. I won't go into it, and at some point during the rescue, some helpful lizard men were playing some music to try and get her to wake up. As it was the most injured she'd ever been, it was a song that Fluffy forever associated with doom and death. Fast forward a few sessions to another encounter, my preferred method of attack was being invisible and behaving like a creep, using sounds and songs combined with intimidation checks to unnerve enemies before attacking. I tended to go off alone to do this kind of stuff, but never too far away from the rest of the group. It was nighttime. Smoke from the destruction of an earlier battle hung in the air. It was cold. The fires this camp had lit for warmth cast dancing shadows on the ruins they were camped out in. They were already on edge. Gunfire from a distance was sounding and coming closer. There's a snap, and someone goes to investigate. Suddenly a gargling scream, then silence. His comrades rush to find him dead, a narrow, cauterized wound in his forehead. With horror, the camp realizes they're not alone. The giggle of a small girl fills the air, followed by a quiet, haunting, terrifying melody. It comes from empty spaces, seeming to shift until the song fills the air with a sinister crescendo. Then, the dread silence of a short pause in the tune. A girl's voice erupts into song, the 4 horrific words of the Song of Death as a tiny, terrifying creature falls on the ones who remain. The Vanga bus is coming. Not everyone grew up in an orphanage where sticks grew on trees. Some of us were poor growing up. Cleric said this while arguing with our sorcerer in my current campaign. They frequently forget that they are the only 2 orphans in the party, and it leads to interesting situations. My friend, in reference to a group of paladins. They see everything as good or evil. They don't do morally gray. Me. That's the problem. We are the morally gray. Our kobold wizard got fully surrounded by hobgoblins during a battle in a dungeon. On his turn, he looked up to a party member and said, "Wanna see a magic trick?" He then cast Fireball, centered on himself, and sculpted it to miss himself. He then looked back to the party member, put his hands out, and said, "Ta-da!" An enemy then stole his line, before fireballing our party. Old half-orc saying, "You can lead a horse to water, but you can just as easily lead it to the campfire." Translation, when in doubt, eat the damn horse. Never go full platypus. RIP to our druid who got eaten because he just had to explore the questionable underground lake and selected this creature because it could swim. At the door leading to a big boss fight, decide to unlock it by casting Wood Shape with my Orc Hunter. Pathfinder class, kinda halfway between a ranger and a druid. Say I want to make it into a large vase shape with a lid. In my best deep orc voice. "Pardon the intrusion, but as you can see, the door is ajar." The groans from the whole table were delicious. One of our players is a wood elf monk who got true polymorphed into a tabaxi monk because he wanted to go faster. This gem occurred. "I must go even faster! Is there any way to craft boots of speed?" asked the artificer. "Let me guess. The crafting recipe involves 5,000 gold and includes several golden rings, red and white shoes, and the quill of a hedgehog moving at terminal velocity, right?" Playing a druid, we were fighting an enemy, and I grabbed a bottle of alcohol and I tossed it at him and threw a produced flame at him. We were in a bar, and the bouncer got all upset with me and jumped over the bar and tried to grapple me. He rolled an 18, I rolled a 22. His bonus action, he tried it again and said, "You need to come with me." He rolled a 6, I rolled a 24. On my next round, I healed a party member on the other side of the bar with Healing Word. I turned around to look at the bouncer who was trying to throw me out, and I looked him in the eye and said, "Watch this shit." I then turned into a brown bear right in front of him. He kept attacking me, but I never attacked him as he wasn't my main target. When I untransformed from my bear form, I walked over to him, said, "I am sorry for the broken bottle of alcohol. I can't remember the name of it, but it was super expensive. 20 gold. I paid him and gave him an extra 5 gold to not mention this encounter with our party. After that little fight, my party members in real life said, "Dude, that was a nice one-liner. It was a great time." This was in Horde of the Dragon Queen. Here there be spoilers, and we were confronting the leader of the local dragon cultists. He hefted his magic greatsword and said, "This sword, Hazron, will feast on your pain." When my turn came around, I asked, "You like pain, right?" Being a tiefling assassin, I critical hit with Dagger of Venom, rolling around 8d6. I followed up with an offhand stab and Hellish Rebuke when he counterattacked. My party was traveling through a forest at night, and we noticed a pair of eyes watching us from the dark. My orc warrior, with a Russian accent, raises a hand axe, ready to throw, and calls out to the creature, asking whether it intends us harm. A party member asks if I'd even be able to make the shot, considering that I don't necessarily have a clear line of sight to the target. My orc's response, "Why would I need clear sight? I can see its eyes and know where forehead is." My sister, a healer oracle, decided to go crazy and mixed some special mushrooms into some herbs we'd found preserved in a time stasis in a tower. The result was special salsa. The most common phrase now is, "Do you like salsa?" Also, our group now has creative ways to solve problems with shrooms. Hello, adventurers. I hope your mood has been sufficiently lightened, and I'd like to thank you for watching to the very end of the video. If you have a great D&D one-liner, please share it in the comments below. If you have another D&D story you'd like to share, feel free to do so on our official subreddit, r/MrRipper. If you'd like to hang out and support our community, please join us on our live streams. And if you're looking for an adventuring party, you may have some luck on our Discord server. Of course, if you want to support your old pal Dave Makes Noises, you can find me on TikTok at Dave Makes Noises. Thanks again for watching. Please sub for Nat 20s. Bing that bong for advantage on your next D20 roll. We love you here at Rip Daddy's house, and we'll see you next time.